It was Independence Day. I was on the beach at Martha's Vineyard. What a better place to take a walk and stroll along the beauties of the Atlantic Ocean. But suddenly, I was confronted by a guard who said, "You can't walk on this part of the beach. It's private." Private beaches? There are so few beaches left in the United States. It's such a limited resource. Should anybody really be able to control access to the oceans? Shouldn't we be moving more toward public beaches and away from private ownership of beaches? Sure, there ought to be specialized beaches. People want to take their suits off and swim in the buff. Let them have a private beach. People want to surf. Let them have a private beach. But the rest of the beaches ought to be for all Americans. There aren't enough of them for private ownership.
Commentaries are personal viewpoints and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WSBK-TV. Whether you agree or disagree, write to us. We want to know what you think.
Given the dismal state of education in Boston, it's not hard to understand why members of the school committee want to separate themselves from the mess we're in. However, the school committee is wrong to pass the buck and grant sweeping new powers to Superintendent Wilson. I find it incredible that 10 members of the school committee actually voted to give up their statutory authority. Where have these people been for the past 13 years? Have they forgotten Federal Judge Arthur Garrity's iron-fisted grip on the school system for the past decade? It is precisely this one-man rule form of management that got us into this mess in the first place. Those of my colleagues who voted to give their powers and responsibilities away lost nothing themselves, and they know it. The real losers in all of this are the parents and children of the city of Boston.
Commentaries are personal viewpoints and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WSBK-TV. Whether you agree or disagree, write to us. We want to know what you think.
A few years ago on a visit to Washington, I went to the Vietnam Memorial. What a striking memorial it is. A V-shaped wall of black granite. It's cut into the earth like a trench, a grave like outstretched arms. It is a wall of names, our first national memorial of names. But there was a lot I didn't see, a whole life around the memorial I didn't know about then. Vietnam veterans, their families and friends, return to the wall again and again. They bring letters to fallen fathers and sons. They hold vigils for the missing, and they remind us of those still dying from Agent Orange. This is a place that honors the living as well as the dead. So if you want to understand the war, don't go to the movies, go to the memorial.
As I drive on Interstate 93, I'm being passed by a parade of aspiring stunt drivers for Miami Vice. And then I ask myself, how much has television influenced these young drivers? In the car chases of Miami Vice, seldom does Sonny Crockett or Tubbs get hurt after they've flipped over 5 times, going 90 miles per hour. Thanks to the world of special effects, the only danger Crockett and Tubbs face is shaving in their dressing rooms. Yet a great deal of these young drivers feel they have a stand-in case of an accident. I believe once a driver is cited for speeding 3 times in 1 year, the courts and the registry should make it mandatory for these stunt drivers to work 40 hours in an emergency room of a hospital to see the real world without the special effects.
Commentaries are personal viewpoints and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WSBK-TV. Whether you agree or disagree, write to us. We want to know.
Last year, a Boston man told police, the FBI, and the Secret Service of an assassination plot he'd uncovered aimed at the president. They concluded the informant was deranged. This year, the Department of Public Safety gave this same poor soul a firearm ID card. It lets you buy as many rifles and shotguns as you want. Just ask your local police. If you're a foreigner, it's even easier. You go through the Department of Public...
Come on now, folks. The game is on TV-38.
The hits just keep on coming as the Red Sox take on the Detroit Tigers. Wednesday at 7:30 on WSBK-TV-38, Boston.
The game is on TV-38.
It's a bird. No, it's a plane. No, it's a meter maid swooping down on another defenseless motorist. These women of steel eyes and mean disposition are no aberration. These rhyme maidens unleashed from City Hall by Siegfried, I mean Photo Freddy posing as Mayor Ray Flynn. You remember the mayor, don't you? The The man who told us when he was elected that he would stop these wanton attacks on our cars. Well, not only has he not stopped it, but his male lieutenants at City Hall have hired more women to sneak around and hide in alleys, waiting for the meter to come up so they can pounce on us. Now, since we citizens are between the meter maids and the parking lot owners and are being ripped off by both, I suggest City Hall hire meter men. So when we get a ticket, we can at least punch them in the mouth.
Commentaries are personal viewpoints and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of WSBK-TV. Whether you agree or disagree, write to us.
You have to be 18 to attend a Massachusetts community college. I certainly wasn't. I was married and had 2 children when I went back to school. My career in television might not have been possible if I hadn't attended a Massachusetts community college. The college's low cost, high quality, and excellent faculty encouraged me to continue my education. I've learned that it is never too late for a Massachusetts community college to help you get started in the right direction.
It's never too late for a Massachusetts community college to make your educational dreams come true.
When was the last time you sat in Boston's gridlock traffic, screaming and cursing at the 12-hour rush hour traffic, only to realize that you're just wasting your breath? And then you ask yourself, who can I call in the State House or City Hall to offer some constructive criticism about the insidious traffic? Ray Flynn? No, he's in a hostage negotiation with a pit bull terrier. Mike Dukakis? No, he does not take telephone calls while in Iowa or Beverly Hills. Mr. Domino from the Boston Traffic Department? No, he's more concerned if the meter maids are making their ticket quotas. And then you realize that your buck is being passed from agency to agency quicker than you are getting from one traffic light to another. Granted, the traffic is a nightmare, and we're not going to wake up some morning to find the traffic gone. The time has come for the city of Boston to create a neutral advisory panel to deal with Boston's chaotic traffic.
Commentaries are personal viewpoints and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of TV 38.